Well, this is the day that this man finally became this man. Rudolph Giuliani's status of having the most famous mugshot in America will last only a day, because Donald Trump is going to surrender to Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis tomorrow and be arrested and booked, and his mugshot will be on the front page of possibly every newspaper in the world on Friday. Donald Trump's mugshot will be in history books. It will become the most widely seen single photograph of Donald Trump's entire life, possibly the most widely seen photograph of any American president in history. It will be the photograph that defines his life and his presidency for hundreds of years. That photograph of Donald Trump tomorrow will be the greatest humiliation Donald Trump has suffered in these 77 years of his relentlessly humiliating life. Surrender is the word, the legal word, for what Donald Trump will do tomorrow. Today was a very busy day of surrender and losing for Donald Trump's co-defendants in the Georgia case. 7 of Donald Trump's co-defendants surrendered today, and 2 of them lost in pleadings they made to a federal judge about the case. And another co-defendant surprised everyone with a request for a speedy trial, while the other defendants seem to be trying to delay a trial as much as possible. Here is today's timeline of the action in the state of Georgia versus Donald J. Trump and his 18 co-defendants. 2:50 a.m., David Schaefer and Kathy Latham surrender. 9:15 a.m., Kenneth Chesebro and Ray Smith surrender. 1:45 p.m., Kenneth Chesebro files for a speedy trial. 2 p.m., Rudolph Giuliani reaches a bond agreement with District Attorney Fani Willis. 2:30 p.m., District Attorney Willis files a brief in response to defendant Jeffrey Clark's emergency motion to federal judge Steve Jones, asking the judge to, in effect, block his arrest. 2:45 p.m., District Attorney Willis files a brief in response to defendant Mark Meadows' emergency motion to federal judge Steve Jones, asking to, in effect, block his arrest. 2:50 p.m., Sidney Powell surrenders. 3:06 p.m., Rudolph Giuliani surrenders. 4:38 p.m., Jenna Ellis surrenders. 5 p.m., Judge Jones denies Jeffrey Clark's emergency motion. 5:40 p.m., Judge Jones denies Mark Meadows' emergency motion. 7:15 p.m., District Attorney Willis files a brief in response to Mark Meadows' request to remove his case to federal court. In District Attorney Willis's 20-page brief opposing moving the case against Mark Meadows to federal court, she raises an issue that I, for one, am embarrassed to say I had not thought of: the Hatch Act. The Hatch Act, sitting right there, didn't think of it. District Attorney Willis quotes Mark Meadows in an interview while he was White House Chief of Staff, saying, quote, "Nobody outside the Beltway really cares about Trump administration officials violating the Hatch Act," which they did more than any other White House in history. District Attorney Willis then points out, quote, "The defendant unreservedly declares that all of the alleged conduct as to Mr. Meadows relates to protected political activity that lies in the heartland of First Amendment, and all the substantive allegations in the indictment concern unquestionably political activity, and thus, if not covered by Supremacy Clause immunity, the charges would be barred by the First Amendment. However, the defendant does not cite or even acknowledge the Hatch Act, the federal statute that expressly forbids such political activity for executive branch employees acting or appearing to act under their official authority. having admitted that all of his pertinent activity is political, the defendant has acknowledged that all of the activity falls outside the scope of his duties and his color of office, because he could never, as chief of staff, engage in such political activity without violating a federal statute.